Hello everyone, Simon here. We're playing Sherlock Holmes Crimes and Punishment, so let us move on to the next case. A half moon walk. Sure. Imagination icon. I couldn't read it. Deduction space icon indicates some of your clues can form an important deduction. So the game gives you these icons to tell you what to do. So the game helps you a lot to solve these cases, although it always leaves out one or two final clues to make the actual final deduction slightly difficult. But most of the clues the game just hands to you, mostly. And there are just a few things
Where
that you
are
have
you going, Holmes? Have you been invited somewhere?
We have been invited, Watson.
We have. Where to?
To the Baker Street Irregulars' annual dinner. They sent us an invitation. It is on the table.
A dinner? How could those street urchins afford anything like that? I can't understand your interest in them, Holmes. They're dirty. They wouldn't hesitate to steal your wallet.
Watson, you should be excited. It is a secret dinner. Its location changes every year. Read the menu. Sounds mouth-watering.
All right. We, the secret police of Baker Street, invite you, Sherlock Holmes, and Dr. Watson to our annual dinner. Menu, entree, frozen rat head salad. Is this a joke?
Not at all. Pray continue.
Main course, sow's udder in Danny Nutcracker's way. Ah, sounds disgusting, Holmes. Hedgehog goulash. Street turnips in homemade juice. And it goes on.
Ah, I can hear them on the stairs now.
Oh, we can't go there. We can't eat that.
Watson, you'll hurt the feelings of those poor children. We have to go.
Oh,
Hi.
Mr. Holmes.
It is fine, Mrs. Hudson.
Mr. Holmes.
Wiggins, Dr. Watson is getting ready. He will be delighted to join us. You don't look well, my young man. Is there something wrong? Don't tell me the dinner is cancelled.
Mr. Holmes is my brother Leighton. He's in a prison cell. They say he's killed 2 men. You have to help us, Mr. Holmes, because I know he didn't do it.
Where is he now?
How do you know?
From what I've heard, they took him to the yard and they gave him a good beating already.
Oh,
You know
really?
what they're like. They'll hang him. They won't look any further.
Holmes, we have to help him.
Well, and forget about the dinner. Wiggins, I'll take the case.
You're fantastic, Mr. Holmes. I'll be waiting for you at the crime scene. You'll be there, right? It's on Half Moon Street in Whitechapel.
Very well.
Alright, we're going to Half Moon Street and then we're gonna go to Scotland Yard. So, yeah, the beatings. So, the police are bad police, although in a lot of countries, a lot of police, they'll just post, like, when there's a crime, if someone reports a crime, they just pull someone in, beat the crap out of them, make them confess, and then hang them. And then there, crime solved. So, sometimes that happens. It makes police work a lot easier for the police. The problem with that is that you don't catch the real criminals, and so the crimes continue. So doesn't help society in any way, right? Because the criminals just keep going and committing more crimes because you haven't caught them, and the police just kill random innocent people, usually poor people. So that's not how you want to do policing. Although a lot of police, if they're not sufficiently scrutinized, will do stuff like that. So you need to police the police, is what I'm trying to say. Interrogate Leighton and inspect his belongings. Let me just go to the crime scene first. Like, it's forced confessions and stuff like that. It's look, I mean, police work is difficult. don't get me wrong. Like, police work is difficult, and that is why they are incentivized to cheat like that and to kind of force confessions. Because it's otherwise it's difficult. It's difficult to actually catch people. What is happening? We don't want to go back that way, I don't think. Who are you? Nobody. Can't interact with that guy. Alright, so we're not going back. Wait, what? Oh, that's the wrong way. My bad. So we can't. That's the wrong way. This is the right way. Although it looks kind of the same. It's a little grimy down here. I guess no one can afford the time to clean the place. Oh, look. Look at that. That's a dead end. I'll come back. Let me just check where the other way goes. This way is, oh, that's a dead end. Alright, we're not going that way. So what is going on here, lads?
Please, gentlemen, leave the scene now. Oh, Mr. Holmes, is that you?
Good evening, Constable...
Constable Marrow. I was here with Inspector Aberline during the Ripper case, Mr. Holmes, back in '88. But then this is nothing like that case. With this one, we've got the murderer, the weapon, and the statements, which speak for themselves.
Of course, Marrow. But you know that appearances can sometimes be deceiving.
Alright, hey chap.
Who were the victims?
The two men here, both shot. The stab fellow was Brian Vercotti, a well-known ruffian. The other, Kenneth Butler, a jeweller by trade.
Uh-huh. A jeweller and a ruffian meeting in the back alleys of a poor district.
You spoke of statements. You have witnesses?
Well, I was there, so I gave my own statement. And then there were two other witnesses who said they saw the killer Chapman. Mr. Turner, a gentleman who lives in that flat over there. And Polly Powell, a flower seller, who was over at the far side of the street.
How would she know? How would she know she's around the corner?
So, Constable Marrow, I should be delighted to hear your testimony.
I was standing at the north side of Half Moon Street. That was the side that you came from.
But you would have been unable to observe this part of the street, where we are standing now.
That is correct. But I saw the two victims slowly enter Half Moon Street, and then shortly after, the fireworks started. A few minutes after that, the fellow Chapman rushed towards me and ran into Half Moon Street.
Please continue.
I didn't pay attention, but suddenly I heard a woman's cries and police whistles on the other side of Half Moon Street. I rushed over there and I saw the two dead bodies on the ground. When I reached Whitechapel Street, I saw Leighton Chapman. He'd been caught by two police constables.
So he was guilty of running past. That's all that happened. He was guilty of running past.
Did you hear the shots?
I didn't hear any shots. The fireworks were all over the sky. They were so loud I couldn't hear anything else.
You didn't hear the shots, okay.
What were the fireworks in honour of, Constable?
Well, today's Queen Victoria's birthday, Mr. Holmes.
Yes, I appear to have lost track of the days. It is May now, of course.
Holmes doesn't care. Doesn't give a crap about the Queen.
Constable Marrow, what else caught your attention while you were running through Half Moon Street?
I saw nothing but rats, and I took the time to light every corner with my lamp.
Did you happen to look up at Mr. Turner's window when you were on Half Moon Street at that time?
Yes, I saw that the window was open, but no one was there.
It was dark in the room.
Constable, your statements have been of great value to me.
Yes, value. Value statements. Brian Vercotti. Italian name.
A tattoo from Westgate Prison. Vercotti must have done some time there.
Westgate Prison.
He tried to stop the bleeding with his hand. Death was not instant.
Death was not instant.
The bullet penetrated his stomach, a dreadful wound.
Yeah, the kind that you don't die immediately from. Kind of have to bleed out while you roll around in pain.
Brian Vercotti suffered greatly. What a terrible way to die.
Yes. So, not a marksman, or at least not, didn't have the luxury of time to aim a shot.
A fairly long pole with a forked end.
Object of
A
interest.
fairly long pole with a forked end.
Alright. Let me look around a little bit. And then look at the other guy. A key.
This is an ordinary key. I wonder what kind of door it opens.
Let's take his key, really. Alright, we took his key. Shot in the head.
The bullet struck his head. This man didn't stand a chance.
So this was a good shot. The other shot was not a good shot. Plates, struck object, piece of wood.
A piece of wood that has stuck between the cobblestones. Let us take a closer look. This shard of wood is quite new.
This shard of wood is quite new. Okay. Hey, we're gonna.
I'll do anything to save my brother, Mr. Holmes.
You not doing anything. I'm doing the work. Ryan Turner.
Good evening, Mr. Turner.
I heard Constable Marrow reply to you as Mr. Holmes. Are you that detective gentleman? I've heard of you. And well, I know things about this evening.
Tell me.
Excellent. Might we hear your story?
Let's look at him. He's got big ears. His big ears are not a clue. His face is not cluish. Middle class balaclava. Crimean War veteran. He wears his medal all the time. Some buttons are missing. Missing buttons, poor life. His crotch is not a clue. Requires support, weak leg limping. Okay. Testimony.
Could you tell us everything that you may have seen or heard?
I was already in bed when the fireworks started. A few moments after, I clearly heard 2 gunshots from outside.
Please continue.
I quickly got up and I grabbed the lamp from my nightstand and I rushed towards the window. I looked down and I saw 2 bodies. And there was a man with a gun who was standing nearby.
Where exactly?
Well, near this body.
Did he notice you?
I don't think so. He rushed towards Whitechapel Street without looking around.
He heard 2 shots after the fireworks. The police said there were fireworks and he couldn't hear the shots during the fireworks.
Mr. Turner, did you see anyone else in the street?
No, I saw no one but that man, the murderer, the fellow they caught.
Were the two shots you heard consecutive?
Yes, there was a very short pause between them, and they sounded different somehow. It seemed to me that the second shot was louder than the first.
That is an interesting comment.
The second shot louder than the first.
Mr. Turner, what were your actions after you stepped up to the window?
I was afraid that the man with a gun might return, so I stayed close to the window till I saw the policeman coming in the Half Moon from Whitechapel. Then I walked out to tell them everything I saw.
You have helped us a great deal, Mr. Turner.
Yeah, it's very helpful, yes. He had two shots after the fireworks. Alright, what's going on here? High class Thornton shoe repairs. So we can't go down here, right? Can we? Can we go down here? Nope. Man, invisible boundaries. That's... The mirror doesn't actually show what's on the other side of the street. Oh, I can go inside?
Locked.
No, I can't. Never mind.
Locked. Locked.
Alright, those are locked.
This mirror is turned towards Half Moon Street.
The mirror is turned... Oh, the mirror works! Check it out! Check it out! It's a working mirror! It actually reflects. Cool. The mirror actually works.
Mrs. Powell?
What do you want?
My name is Sherlock Holmes. I'm assisting the police with their investigation of the crime that took place this evening.
Well, I've already gave my testimony, but very well.
Your testimony.
Could you tell us everything that you may have seen or heard?
Yes. I was selling my flowers as usual, and then the fireworks began, in honour of Queen Victoria. I enjoyed those. But then, all of a sudden, a young lad ran out of Half Moon Street and stopped just by me. He had a gun in his hand. He was like a ghost, and all covered in blood. It was dark, but I could see him, because of the flashes from the fireworks.
And then?
I screamed as loud as I could. I knew that a policeman should be on duty in the vicinity. He had no time to escape. 2 constables got him. Then another constable came out from the very same street, and I heard him talking of a horrible murder.
Huh. Shots?
Mrs. Powell, did you hear the gunshots?
I'm not sure. You know, what with the fireworks?
Fascinating. Although it could be that because the other guy was a war veteran, he could tell the difference between fireworks and gunshots, whereas these other two, because they haven't been in a war, can't tell the difference between fireworks and gunshots. So it might not actually be suspicious.
Did you see anyone else leaving Half Moon Street, prior to or at the time of the crime?
No, sir, I did not. Even with all the fireworks, I was very attentive, as I'm always on the lookout for customers.
Nobody
My thanks to you,
else.
Mrs. Powell.
Nobody else. This is not a thing. We can't ransack random houses. Alright, so there's that. Common statement. Different shots, 2 victims. Turner's view, dark window. Conflicting statements. Mr. Turner stated that he remained at the window of his flat until the police arrived. However, this is in conflict with Merrill's statement as the constable did not see anyone at the window. Search Turner's flat. 2 victims. Okay. Search his flat? Police, I'm coming in.
Mr. Turner, you have stated that you remained close by your window after the crime, is that correct?
Oh, yes, Mr. Holmes. I stayed at my window until the policeman arrived to examine the dead bodies.
Q. Turner's contradiction. Door key, Turner's limb. Contradiction.
That is very interesting, Mr. Turner. Constable Marrow stated that he did not see anyone at the window when he was running through Half Moon Street.
Well, I think Constable Marrow and me, we might have been distracted by the whistles and shouts coming from Whitechapel. We could have missed each other somehow. You understand what I mean? It was a bit of a stressful moment, to tell you the truth, sir.
Allow me to form my own theories, Mr. Turner. Would you mind showing me the view that you had from your window?
Not at all, Mr. Holmes. Please, follow me.